everyone, welcome to the Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It is Tuesday, May 6th. It is 2025. We have a big 12-game MLB slate to talk about here on today's podcast. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Monday night. What's up, chat? Have 100 points on DK with a Mets stack who are doing nothing. Yeah, that game so far pretty disappointing. Hopefully that game can get going a little bit. Smith Schroyer and Reagan combo did really well. We'll see what the bats do here throughout the night. What's up, everyone? Derek Ritchie hanging out in chat a little later than I had planned for the show tonight live. Doesn't affect you podcast listeners, but a little later than I expected. Watching a show with my wife and lost track of time a little bit. It happens to the best of us. Good show. Chick flick. Love chick flicks. Watching chick flicks with her. So let's talk some baseball. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot to get to. I'm going to give you all my first look like I do each and every day. As I mention all the time, I just like to mention this because I feel like it's important. First look show. My thoughts on some things might change throughout the day, but I'm giving you my first look like I have been for the last 9 years. So I absolutely love doing the show. If you want to support the show, head over to YouTube, Morning Grind, youtube.com/Morning Grind. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We are closing in, or I am closing in on 2,000 subs over there. So I appreciate that each and every day for everyone. I will eventually stop saying we. It's me, no other sponsor, nobody else. I pay for the hosting. I do all that stuff. I record. What's up? I do the editing. I love doing the show. It's a lot of fun. Love the community that we have here on the Morning Grind. So appreciate everyone. Let's jump right in. We got like I said, we got a lot to talk about, a lot of baseball to talk about. So we get started with San Diego at New York facing the Yankees. Michael King, Clark Schmidt, 8.5 total pick'em game. We'll start with King. You know, Pivetta, he had some strikeouts. We know there's some strikeout upside in this lineup. King has been awesome in the strikeout department this season. 27% whiff rate, 12% swinging strike rate, strikeout rate 29.5%. Really able to attack left-handed hitters with his pitch mix. Has at least 6 strikeouts in all but 2 starts this year, so that's great. Pitch count kind of all over the place, but at 9,500 against a high strikeout Yankees team right off the bat here, I have some interest in King in tournaments. I don't necessarily want to play him in cash games, but again, I don't play a lot of cash games. Really, the only sport that I play cash games anymore is NASCAR. I just typically play like in baseball, I play like one main lineup, and then I'll play like some 3-entry, 5-entry, 20-entry max contests, depending on how much time I have in the day. Anyone that has kids probably feels me on that aspect. But yeah, I have some interest in King in tournaments. His strikeout stuff's been awesome this year. I mean, the one thing you're always concerned about is how much hard contact he gives up. But yeah, you look at the Yankees lineup, all but 2 hitters have a strikeout rate over 20% since the start of last season. Their strikeouts are down a little bit this year, but I still think we see closer to last year's strikeout numbers by the end of the year. So don't mind targeting the Yankees with pitchers that can attack this lineup. We'll talk about the Yankees bats in just a minute. Going over here to the other side, Schmidt, 6,900 going up against San Diego. I mean, his pitch mix and pitch count has kind of increased here. Looks like he's starting to get healthier and healthier. He's really struggling with command. He's walking like almost 5% higher than last season. Giving up a lot of hard contact. His whiff rate is still super solid. His swinging strike rate is still super solid. He's really, really, really strong against right-handed hitters. So, I mean, that's always really good, especially in a lineup like this where you do expect to have a good amount of righties overall in the lineup. I mean, they are dealing with some injuries. to some of their better lefties. So I don't think this is the spot I would play Schmidt just because it is a low strikeout matchup. I could see him pitching okay and doing well, but I would say you need to see at least 6 righties in this lineup. But again, you're getting one of the lower strikeout teams in baseball against right-handed pitching. I mean, the San Diego Padres, while they're only like 14th in WRC plus, they are 29th in strikeouts. So they're second fewest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching this season. So they don't strike out against righties. So it's really tough for pitchers to have ceiling games. And I mean, in tournaments, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for ceiling games. He's cheap. As far as the San Diego bats, even last year, I definitely preferred lefties. I don't really love the lefties in this lineup. I do like Gavin Sheets, especially in Yankee Stadium. So in tournaments, I think this is a spot you could take some shots in tournaments for Sheets, especially on DraftKings at 3,500. I wish he was still outfield eligible, but he's not. He would be my favorite. Arias, he just doesn't have a huge ceiling most slates. Like, he's a guy that's going to get on base. He's not going to strike out. He's going to put the bat on the ball a lot. But yeah, I think it would be Sheets as a one-off. Tatis might come out fired up after getting ejected on Monday night. But yeah, watch the weather in this one too. When I was looking pre-show at weather, and I hate looking at weather the night before because so much can change. But this is one of the games that had a little bit of concerns. The Red Sox game too, that is on the early slate. If you play the early slate, Washington, so like that. So yeah, I mean, again, it's really hard to kind of judge the night before. Yankees bats against King. I do love Sheets. Man, Gavin Sheets, I think, is a guy like Kerry Carpenter. I just play these guys. But I mean, Gavin Sheets has a 190 ISO with a 360 WOBA against right-handed pitching this season. Schmidt has really struggled with lefties, 460 WOBA, 380 ISO. So there's reasoning why I like Gavin Sheets. I mean, he's cheap enough too. Like I said, I liked him a little bit more when you could play him in the outfield, but Gavin Sheets quietly hitting 280 with 4 home runs this year. I mean, nothing to write home about, but he has home run upside in this ballpark with lefties. So yeah, I gotta back myself up. It's not just I like Gavin Sheets. You're right, Craig. I do. Brian in chat says I need 1 RBI from Cal Riley for 1,500 on prize. Well, Brian, we're all rooting for you to get 1 RBI from Cal Riley. So we'll sweat out these Cal Riley at bats while we're recording, because I feel like the show is going to be a longer show today. So we're rooting for you, Brian. Let's get that Cal Riley RBI. There you go. Yankees bats against King. One of the reasons that I like Nick King here, or Michael King, I said Nick King, I was thinking of Nick Pivetta. One of the reasons that I don't mind Michael King here is he's just really good at throwing strikes. He does a really good job of limiting power. His ISO's under 100, his WOBA's under 250. It's the same suspects if you're going to play the Yankees. It's Ben Rice, it's Aaron Judge, it's Trent Grisham. They've been awesome this season against right-handed pitching. I saw a stat today on Judge. What he's been able to do since the start of last season is just incredible. Coming from a Red Sox fan, it's hard for me to say, but Aaron Judge has just been an incredible hitter over the last calendar year. All right, moving on. We got Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. 8 total in this game. Philly a 125 favorite. We got Zach Wheeler against Drew Rasmussen. Starting with Wheeler. Threw myself off there for a second. Reading chat. What's up, Yeezy? What's up, Derek? Craig? Yeah. Chat. I love this. This community is awesome. I love this community. One of the reasons that I do this show. One, I'm doing this research anyway, and it helps me as a DFS player to break down these slates, but I love the community. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate the community. Zach Wheeler, 32.8% strikeouts this season. He's having a really good strikeout season. Strikeouts have been awesome. Over 7 strikeouts in all but one start this season. And like the one thing that I really like about Zach Wheeler is they let him go. I mean, they'll let him pitch over 100 pitches when he's pitching well, which gives him a ton of upside. The bottom half of the Rays lineup right now is just atrociously bad. Like Meade, Jankowski is in this lineup, Taylor Wells, like a lot of strikeouts in the bottom half of this lineup. So really like the spot for Wheeler. Just he's having a really, really, really strong season. And I say really like too many times, but what we've seen from him so far has just been incredibly good. So he doesn't have the like floor as some other pitchers. He's going to give up a couple runs. He'll probably give up a home run or two. He's given up at least one home run every game this season. So like there is that. You just hope that that's all. Like it's just like a solo shot or 2 solo shots. He strikes out 8, puts up 25 to 35 DK points. Like, I mean, that's kind of what you're hoping for with Zach Wheeler. Like he's not going to have a perfect game. He's not going to throw a no-hitter into the 8th like our boy AJ Smith-Schroyer. But I love the upside here for Wheeler. I think that this is a spot. He's a top-end play in tournaments today. On the other side of this game, we got Drew Rasmussen. His strikeout rate is down a little bit from when he pitched out of the bullpen last season. But, I mean, overall, he's put together a lot of really strong starts. He's had some bad starts, especially the last couple times out. Struggled against Kansas City last time out, but we've seen that a lot with right-handed pitching this season just because like Kansas City is going to be a bad team this year. It looks like they're not really like striking out a ton. They're just putting the ball in play a lot. So if you have a game where they just find all the holes with their singles and stuff, it's going to be a long day. And I feel like that kind of happened in his last start against Kansas City. He's a really good strike thrower, doesn't walk people. His ISO, he does a really good job of limiting power. I know he's given up a couple home runs here recently, but Philadelphia is a tough matchup. One, they don't strike out a lot. They have a lot of power throughout this lineup. So their third fewest strikeout rate against right-handed pitching this season. We were talking about, and they're kind of middle of the road, WRC plus as well. They walk at the second highest rate in the MLB this season against right-handed pitching, which kind of stinks, especially if you're struggling with command a little bit. So overall for me on Rasmussen is he could probably get you 20 to 25 on a really good day. But the first sign of trouble after he gets past like 70 pitches, they're very quick to yank him, and I hate that kind of situation. It's a tough matchup against Philly. Like I said, they don't strike out. You look at this lineup top to bottom, and it's just a really, really low strikeout team. So probably find somewhere else to be in this range. Craig said he's made the coin with me. I have some gray hairs in my beard. I've got it. I still get used to like made the coin, and I know that's not like an old thing, but man, or new thing. I don't know. I feel old today. My daughter made me feel old today, so I feel old today. So, Philly bats. Again, Rasmussen's done a really good job this year limiting power. Even out of the bullpen last year, he was really good at limiting power. You want lefty power against him typically, and I mean this ballpark is like a AAA ballpark, so I mean there's some upside in Harper Schwarber. I don't think I stack Philly in this spot. I don't think I stack Philly in this spot overall. I could see like playing Philly one-offs or maybe a mini stack. Tampa side, again, like when you're looking at Zach Wheeler's numbers for the season, his strikeout stuff's been awesome, but he is giving up power. He's really struggling with home runs. He doesn't walk people. He just throws a lot of strikes. Giving up a lot of fly balls to right-handed power. I don't think I'd call Yandy Diaz like a right-handed power hitter. I think this is a spot you maybe target like the speed of Simpson. He does a really good job of getting on base. Arnanda's power, Missner's power, like those three guys for those reasons would be the ones that I'm targeting here. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much else to add. There's plenty of games on this slate that have some upside. Don't worry. We have plenty of spots to target. Cincinnati at Atlanta, 8 total in this game. Atlanta, a 225 favorite. We got Andrew Abbott going up against Chris Sale in this one. Thought the Braves were gonna do their thing. I mean, they didn't do too bad, right? At the end of the day, Andrew Abbott. Again, I've talked a lot about Andrew Abbott this year. There's like stints that like Andrew Abbott looks like he's closer to his like 2023 numbers where he's healthy. And he's been pitching well, and then he has these games where he just goes out and he can't throw strikes. His walk rate is really high, even higher than last year when he struggled a little bit. He's giving up a ton of fly balls. You look at this Atlanta team, and I mean, they have a lot of upside, especially against left-handed pitching. They have a lot of potential left-handed hitters going to stay in this lineup. I would assume Olsen and one of or both of Verdugo and Harris end up playing here. Like, so I mean, it's interesting. Obviously, like you have to get through like Murphy. You have to get through Riley and Ozuna. Eli White's actually been better against right-handed pitching this season than left-handed pitching. The walks are concerning. I mean, you already are concerned about like the walks and him not getting there. I don't know. I'm on the fence here night before. One of the reasons I'm on the fence is because like I've watched him pitch a couple times this year, and like again, his stuff looks good. And nobody's going to play him today. So I'm on the fence on Abbott. Right now, I'm leaning probably not. But I mean, again, I might talk myself into it by the end of the day on not even playing a lot of him, maybe just playing a little bit. Maybe the lineup comes out and like there's 3 or 4 lefties in there. It helps my decision a little bit. Or the lineup comes out and there's only like 1 lefty in there or 2 lefties in there, and it helps my decision. Chris Sale, really good last time out. It was against Colorado in course. I don't know what to think of Chris Sale right now. I mean, he's thrown at least 98 pitches in 4 straight games. That's what we like. The strikeouts have been kind of all over the place. His chase rate is still incredibly good. His off-speed stuff, breaking ball stuff is still really good. His whiff rate is, really strong. He has a 29% K rate. Looking at like xFIP and his xERA, he's gotten a little unlucky. There's some positive regression coming. So all these signs are good. Still relying heavily on the slider, which is good. I mean, he for years have had, since he's kind of been in the majors, he's had one of the best sliders in baseball. I like the matchup. I could see him winning this matchup. I could see him having another good game like last time out. 10 strikeouts against Colorado in Coors. That was really good. His slider, like I said, his slider is so good. I look at this matchup and I'm like, I feel like he's just too cheap. At the end of the day, I think that's where I'm at. I think Chris Sale at 8,800 really against anybody is probably too cheap. So I think you have to play the talent a little bit here. Again, like some of his advanced stats look really good. His whiff rate looks awesome. His swinging strike rate looks awesome. He's giving up a little bit higher WOBA and ISO than last season to right-handed hitters. A little bit more fly balls, but again, I think some of those numbers will potentially come down. I just like the price tag for sale on DraftKings. Not logged into FanDuel right now. I can't FanDuel. Getting logged into FanDuel sometimes is so hard. Like, I love FanDuel. I've been playing on FanDuel since 2009, and I know I say this all the time, but I love FanDuel. I'm trying to log into FanDuel, and it's like, let's see here. All right, got logged in. Let's see. FanDuel pricing for sale. 9,900, like, is kind of in this range. Yeah, I mean, I have some interest. I will say that like he's close enough to like Skeens and Wheeler that I probably prefer them on FanDuel, one pitcher site. But yeah, as far as the Reds bats go, McLean has power against left-handed pitching. Stevenson being back is really good for this lineup against lefties, but he is extremely expensive on DraftKings. That 5K price tag is really tough for him against a guy like Chris Sale, in my opinion. He's probably a little too expensive on FanDuel as well. Looking at the Reds pricing, again, I always look at pricing like when I come on the show. Yeah, I mean, the pricing on the Reds seems really high. I will say, like, Spencer Steer, he's under 4K. Man, I hope Tyler Callahan a speedy recovery. I don't know if you guys saw that. He fractured his, I think it was his forearm, going for a ball. It was inside the park home run on like Matt Olson. It was very interesting play. But hopefully Tyler Callahan can bounce back from that. That stinks. It was like his third or fourth game. The Atlanta Bats. Abbott's walks and struggles in the walk and command department is interesting. I think you could stack Atlanta in this spot. And I say I think. I know you can. Riley, Murphy, Ozuna, Albies. It's just for me, like, if Abbott's having a good game, I could definitely see the stack not working. So, like, I feel like if you're playing Atlanta, it's a stack. Like, you're not, like, it's a stack. I feel like that's how you have to play them. I mean, you could one off like a Sean Murphy at catcher for a lot of upside at a position that you don't typically get a lot of ceiling from. Higher ceiling this year because of a guy like Cal Riley. But overall, probably a stack spot. If I'm playing Atlanta, I think I'm stacking them. I'm hoping for a bad game and getting to them early here. Baltimore at Minnesota. 8.5 total in this game. Minnesota 155 favorite. We got Cade Povich going up against Pablo Lopez. Cade Povich. I mean, I don't think there'll be a time that I want to play him this year. I mean, he's just one of those guys, like this pitching rotation with as good as the lineup is for this lineup, like for Baltimore, you would think that like they're going to make some moves and try to get some pitching in here. I mean, he is really cheap. He's had one really strong start this year, but I mean, he has home run issues. He struggles with power. He really struggles with like right-handed hitters. And Minnesota has plenty of righties. I mean, there's likely a chance that Minnesota is going to hit 7 to 9 righties in this lineup. I think Larnach probably stays in the lineup, so it's probably 8 righties in this. So too many righties, too many struggles with right-handed hitters. I'm out on this one. Other side of this game, Pablo Lopez. I mean, Pablo Lopez is still like doing exactly what he's done, I feel like, the last few years. He throws a lot of strikes. He doesn't walk people. He tries to limit damage. I mean, that's just what Pablo Lopez does. He goes out and he limits the damage. He'll probably get 5 or 6 strikeouts and, I mean, be okay. It's just, I don't know if this is a spot I necessarily want to try to get that like 22-point game when I know that like a 10-point game is in the possibilities as well. Because you look at Baltimore, top half of this lineup is one of the best top halves in baseball. Mullins, Henderson, Rutschman, Ryan O'Hearn continues to crush right-handed pitching this season. His ISO's way up. His WOBA's way up. His strikeout rate's still way down. Ryan O'Hearn has been like one of the better hitters in baseball statistically all season, and just doesn't get like the love from a lot of people. So other days, I think you could potentially take shots on Lopez. It's just like Pablo Lopez, his ceiling is probably like 25 to 30 most slates. He's 9K. It's a tough matchup. I think this is a spot you just kind of pass on Pablo Lopez today. As far as the bats against him, I mean, it's the same hitters I said. It's Mullins, it's Henderson, it's Rutschman, it's O'Hearn. His strikeout rate definitely a lot lower to left-handed hitters. And when he struggled with power last season too, it was against lefties. So yeah, I mean, I think I would be probably like a little 3-man Baltimore stack for me if I'm putting them in my pool here. I don't know if you necessarily have to put them in your pool. I think Pablo Lopez is definitely respectable enough, but if you're going to play them, I think it's O'Hearn, Mullins, Henderson, Rutschman, 3 of those guys. Jackson Holiday, I will say, like he's been hitting the ball really well here recently. He's still really cheap at second base. He had 2 home run game against Kansas City over the weekend on Sunday, I think it was. So he's been hitting really well. We knew it was just bound to happen. Kid's way too talented. Too many people gave up on him way too fast last year. Minnesota bats. I mean, I'll stack against Cade Povich any slate. Any slate, like any slate. So one of the things that I talk about a lot that I feel like goes overlooked a lot is bullpens, and this bullpen's not good. Baltimore's bullpen has been one of the worst bullpens in baseball this year. Like they're not quite up to like the Angels level of bad and the Washington Nationals level of bad. If you're curious, those are by far the 2 worst bullpens in baseball, and it's by a large margin, Angels and Nationals. So you know, but they're bad. I mean, they're the 3rd worst bullpen in baseball in a lot of statistics. So, I mean, Buxton, Jeffers, Correa, France, Bader, like the one thing you're worried about here with a lefty starting is maybe some pinch hit risk. Like a guy like Julian will be on layaway to potentially come in and pinch hit if he doesn't start. And I don't think he'll start. So you're worried a little bit about like that. You're worried Willie Castro is a switch hitter. So just kind of, you have to kind of feel out the Minnesota lineup, but I do think Minnesota is in play. Especially looking at their pricing. And I almost forgot Royce Lewis got activated on Monday, so he's going to be in this lineup. That's a huge upgrade to this lineup. So don't overlook that. I even wrote it down. It's on my sheet right in front of me. Royce Lewis activated on Monday. So he'll be in the lineup. That's a huge bump to this lineup in general. So the rest of the lineup's really cheap. Julian got sent down, did he? Was that can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it. His numbers aren't great, but I didn't see that one coming. I thought they would send down what's his name? Clemens? Anyway. Yeah, I mean, Lewis is huge. So like him a lot. Jeffers, France, Buxton. Like Minnesota, I think Minnesota is a really solid team to target here. San Francisco at Chicago taking on the Cubbies. 8 total in this game. Cubs a 148. Yeah, 148 favorite. We got Justin Verlander against Colin Ray in this one. So Justin Verlander on the season is nowhere near where he was 3 or 4 years ago. His strikeout rate's 20%. He's struggling a little bit more with command. His hard hit rate's really high. So he's nothing like he used to be. Do you honestly, you want to know what it reminds me of? Like, no joke, Justin Verlander right now reminds me of Madison Bumgarner towards the end of his career. And they're both were like with the Giants. I know, like, I think he was with Arizona, right? At some point, Bumgarner, but all right, we're sweating Brian's RBI here. He just needs a sac fly. He got first and third, 1 out. Cal Riley up against Severino. Let's see if we can get Brian that RBI. But for me on Verlander, I'm not playing him. I actually have some interest in the bats, and I'll talk about them in just a minute. Colin Ray on the other side of this game. I'm not afraid to play pitchers against this team. I don't know. I'm on the fence. Like, I didn't end up playing enough teams to get to Boyd. I hope you did. I think Boyd had a really solid game from what I remember looking at. So hopefully you listened to me on Matthew Boyd, but I only ended up playing one team. So, it was AJ and Reagan's. But like Boyd, he did exactly what I was kind of hoping for. He had a really good game. Yeah, he had 24 DK points. So, I mean, he had a really solid game. So looking at Colin Ray, he does a really, really good job at throwing strikes, limiting damage, and not getting blown up. On some slates, I think that is super doable. It could easily work out for you. I think there's a lot of upside at pitcher just in general today. I mean, King, Wheeler, Sale, some names that I already talked about that I feel like have some solid ceiling. We'll talk about a couple more that I think are really interesting today as a whole. I think at this price point, if you're a 20 entry plus max type player, so if you play 20 or 150, or if you build 100 teams or 50 teams, I don't hate the idea of getting a little exposure to Colin Ray at this price, knowing that like he could probably get you like 4 or 5 strikeouts in this matchup. You just kind of hope that he goes out and he does what he normally does. He limits the damage. It looks like it's going to be chilly with some wind blowing in Wrigley, which is always good. So not the best hitting conditions in the world. I think Colin Ray's okay. I think he's okay. Yeah, I think he's okay. Bats for San Francisco. I mean, Jung-Ho Lee has been awesome this year, especially just doesn't strike out, puts the ball in play a lot. Going to be a lot of contact in this matchup for him going up against Ray. So you're always a little concerned about that. So Jung-Ho Lee is always, I mean, I always like playing Matt Chapman. I think Matt Chapman has a lot of upside on most slates. Ramos has some upside. Adames is getting called like a huge bust because he signed like $180 million contract and he's doing nothing. I don't necessarily love this spot. I mean, I think this is going to be a pretty low scoring spot for San Francisco. Don't love the hitting conditions. I like the Cubs. I know I just got done saying like I don't like the hitting conditions, but like Verlander is so hittable now. Again, it reminds me a lot of like, I stacked against Madison Bumgarner a lot in the end of his career, and I feel like I've stacked against Verlander on every slate that he's pitched on that I've done like DFS. It's worked out a couple times. I mean my I think it was the Reds. Red stack worked out really well against them. I like Tucker, Suzuki, Bush, Kelly. I know is super expensive, but like he's crushing. He just doesn't stop hitting. So I don't hate it. PCA is crushing. Like the problem with the Cubs, I like the Cubs. The problem with the Cubs is they're extremely expensive on DK. Making the stack work on DK is very, very tough. Their prices on FanDuel have creeped up. And now it is a lot harder to build stacks on FanDuel. A little bit easier because like Happ and Bush are cheap enough where you could still play Tucker and one of PCA, Suzuki, or Kelly. DK, it's really tough to build a Cub stack. The weather's not great. So maybe you're leaning a little bit more Cubs on FanDuel than DK. But I think it's a good spot for the Cubs. So if you like some cheaper pitchers and you want to roll the Cubs out there, I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to. White Sox and Royals. Hey, didn't Shane Smith pitched okay too, right? Like I know we didn't necessarily. I didn't like him for strikeouts, but I thought he was going to like limit the damage against Kansas City. Didn't he do that? White Sox and Royals. Lugo, Burke, Sean Burke's back in our lives. 8.5 total in this game. Kansas City, a 225 favorite. We'll start here with the visiting pitcher, like we always do. Sean Burke. I'm not playing him. He struggles a lot with command. He struggles with hard contact. He struggles with everything. He'll get a couple strikeouts, fly balls. This is exactly the type of guy that I like to stack against when you're giving up a lot of hard contact, you're struggling with command, you're giving up a lot of fly balls, you're giving up a lot of barrels. Like, this is exactly the type of guy that you stack against. So no interest in Burke here. Good start last time out. Going right back to the well, stacking against him. Cole Reagan's crushed on Monday night. We're going back to the well here on Seth Lugo. The problem that I have with Lugo is price. And like I know he had a really good game against Houston not too long ago where he struck out a lot of people. Like Lugo, price wise, for me, is tough. I think Lugo goes out and has a really strong start here. But like even FanDuel, Lugo's price is kind of like iffy. I will say, like, I prefer Chris Sale over Seth Lugo. I think Chris Sale has a higher ceiling than Seth Lugo. But I think Seth Lugo can go out, limit the damage, and not get blown up here against White Sox. I don't love the price. That's where I'm, like, iffy on Seth Lugo right now. It's just the price. But, I mean, this is a guy that's thrown at least 6 innings in all but 2 starts this year. They give him a long leash. When he's pitching well, he can get 20 to 25, points. So quality start wise on FanDuel, he's always up there for a quality start because of how deep he pitches in the game. So yeah, I mean, for me on Lugo, I think he's definitely in play today. I don't necessarily like the White Sox bats, especially if Benintendi's out of the lineup. I like Lugo more if Benintendi's out of the lineup. I know he's dealing with a calf and didn't play on Monday, but it was lefty too, so could have been the reason. So watch that. If Benintendi's out of the lineup, I like this spot even more for Lugo. Don't really have a ton of interest in the White Sox. They really just haven't had a lot of power against right-handed pitching this season. Oh, Royals. Here we go again. I mean, I played the Royals more than I should have this season because the Royals have been extremely bad. They have been very close to a bottom 5 offense all year against right-handed pitching. But they're cheap. They're so cheap today in this matchup against Burke. Vinny P, 3,400. India, 3,100. That makes it a lot easier to get a guy like Witt in there. Garcia's having a really strong year under 4K. So, I mean, I definitely like the Royals today. I'll stack just about anybody against Sean Burke for what it's worth. I mean, I even don't mind getting some Sal Perez in this spot. He's finally starting to hit more recently, so they're gonna put the ball in play a lot against Burke today. So a lot of interest in Kansas City. I love the pricing on them. Makes it easier to kind of fit pitching in. So I think they're gonna pop a lot on optos and sims today because of the pricing in the matchup. Houston at Milwaukee. 8 total in this game. Pick'em game. Hayden Wazinski against Chad Patrick. We'll go Wazinski first. My boy Yelich. I bet I think it was over hits, runs, RBIs is what I ended up betting. I liked his props today. total bases and stuff too. That ended up working out well. Started the day hot in bets. I think I started the day like 3-0, 3-1, and have some unders on Severino. So anyway, back to what I was getting at. Wazinski here. I mean, he's right at like league average in strikeouts. He's not pitching terrible. He's not pitching great. He's had some good starts this year. He's had some bad starts. The bottom half of the Milwaukee lineup is not great. The middle half of the lineup is really solid. So I don't know. I did see, I don't know if this is true or not, but I did see a tweet of a picture of Rhys Hoskins got a torpedo bat, and then he hit his first home run of the season the other night. So I don't know if that is correct or not. But has he started hitting home runs? So anyway, I get so distracted sometimes. What is the league average for strikeouts? If I remember, it's like 23%. I'm pretty sure 20. I think it's like 22.8 or something. I haven't checked it. I haven't checked it in like a week or so, but I'm pretty sure it's like 22.8. I always, anytime you hear me say league average, I always think 23%. I always think 23%. That's the number I'm looking at as far as like average, because that's what it's been so close to for years. So anyway, Wazinski here. I mean, I like the bottom half of this lineup. I like target the bottom half of this lineup. Can he get enough strikeouts or limit the damage against the top half is always what you're kind of wondering. He does give up a lot of hard contact. He does struggle with strikeouts to lefties. They're going to have some lefties in this lineup, Bowers, Yelich, Collins, but I mean, Milwaukee's kind of a right-handed heavy lineup, most slates. So he's like that. He's like a question mark for me until like I see the lineup and I build some lineups and I decide like, hey, do I need this guy down here? Going to the other side. Hey, where did Tobias Myers? I remember talking a little bit about Tobias Myers on the podcast yesterday. I haven't checked a lot of baseball tonight. Like I said, I was watching a show with my wife. I didn't look and see what Tobias ended up doing. So anyway, Chad Patrick. So it was really good to see Chad Patrick get 100 pitches last time out against the White Sox, because his pitch count's kind of been all over the place here recently. He got touched up at the end. Oh, so I mean, he almost had 15. I think that's what I said. You kind of wanted 15 for Myers. Isn't that what I said? I don't know. Too many things to think about. Chad Patrick, like, he is kind of the opposite of Myers. You know, we talked about Myers yesterday. He has struggled a little bit more with like right-handed power than left-handed power, and this lineup is just full of right-handed hitters. So I want pitchers that can attack right-handed hitters. And looking at his stats, he's going to strike out righties more, but he has a higher ISO, higher WOBA, higher fly ball rate, hard hits a lot. Like, his whiff rate is not the best. He gives up more barrels to righties. So I don't think this is a spot I want to play him. And I did see that Houston put Yordan Alvarez on the IL on Monday. So that's definitely something to note, because now I feel like they're going to just be 9 righties every slate, and we're going to love right-handed pitchers that are good against right-handed hitters against the Astros. But I don't think this is a spot I want to play Chad Patrick. Again, looking at his stuff, he struggles a lot with righties, and I think that's going to be an issue for him in this spot. The Astros are cheap. So Altuve is kind of priced up overall at 5,100 on DK, but Pena, Paredes, Walker, they're all cheap. So I don't mind maybe getting a little exposure here to Houston. I don't know if I full stack them, But where you're looking at with Chad Patrick and his struggles in this lineup, they profile pretty well against him. Brady is probably my favorite here. I always like Diaz as a cheap catcher. I played Diaz a lot. Milwaukee side, like I said, I'm kind of on the fence on Wazinski. If I was going to target hitters against him, it'd be lefties. Even though like he has a lower ISO to lefties, he strikes out lefties less. He doesn't do a good job generating ground balls to lefties. He gives up a lot of power to right-handed power sometimes. So maybe a 3-man for Milwaukee. I don't mind targeting like home runs here. So like Cheerio, Yelich, Hoskins, Bowers, Contreras, Collins. Is he still really cheap? Yeah, 2,300 for Collins, and they had him hitting second with Frelick out of the lineup on Monday. So if Frelick's out again, they said it should be a day or two. In the past, Astros haven't struck out. Is that still the same? Their strikeout rate's a little bit higher this year than it has been in the past. They've added some strikeout hitters in this lineup. Like Cam Smith, young hitter, he strikes out a lot. Christian Walker came over from Arizona. He's striking out a lot. DeZenzo, his strikeout rate is really high. He's not in the lineup every day. He should play more that Jordan's out. So they have more strikeouts than they typically did. I mean, Bregman is a really low strikeout guy. He's gone. So they should have never let Kyle Tucker go, in my opinion. They need that. They need another left-handed bat in that lineup. They need another left-handed bat in the lineup in general. Pittsburgh at St. Louis, as I try not to sneeze. 7 total in this game. Pittsburgh, a 135 favorite. We got Skeens and Liberatore pitching against each other here. I mean, Skeens he's one of the better pitchers in baseball. I hate how much he's pitching to contact this year. I feel like he's pitching to contact more. He's had like incredible games. He's had games where he's gotten hit. You love targeting the bottom half of this Cardinals lineup because there's a lot of strikeouts. You like the ballpark here when it's not extremely hot. I haven't checked the weather. When it gets hot in St. Louis, this ballpark is awesome. But when it's like 60, 65, it's not the best ballpark. So, I mean, my first thoughts is play Skeens. In tournaments, I think I like the tournament upside for Wheeler and Sale a little bit more, but floor-wise, you probably like Skeens a little bit more here. He's just a really good pitcher. I know what happened last time out, but the Cubs are just really good. The Cardinals are not the Cubs. I'm sorry, Derek. I think you can agree with me. The Cubs lineup has just been incredible this year. I could see Skeens pitching well. He struggled in his first outing against this team this year. Gave up, I think, 4 runs or 5 runs. So I could see him struggling a little bit, but he's going to eventually get going in a groove. And when he gets into that groove, he's one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball. And some of his advanced stats say like his strikeout rate should be higher than where it is. So I'm not pumping the brakes on Paul Skeens and the strikeout stuff yet. I think that he's going to be fine. The other side of this game, Liberatore, I kind of have some interest in him. Why did he leave? Oh, rain delay. Okay. I was like, why did he leave the last game? I did not realize he left the game after 3 innings, but outside of that, he's thrown at least 6 innings in every start this year. He's been super consistent. He doesn't walk people. He does a really good job. His WOBA is like 250. The bottom half of the Pirates lineup is atrociously bad. Even like McCutchen, who for years, if it left him with power, his power's down a little bit against lefties this year, but he's still a really good hitter against lefties. O'Neal Cruz strikes out a ton against lefties. They're not going to be able to get all these lefties out of the lineup. So I think a guy like Liberatore, makes a lot of sense on both sites today because you're chasing the quality start on FanDuel, and he's 9K over there. Quality start, good outing. I mean, again, he's thrown 6 innings in all but one start, and the one he didn't was a rain delay. And he's got a quality start 4 out of his 6 games, and one of those was a rain delay. So, I mean, 35 FanDuel points would be great. 20 to 25 DK points would be great. So I like this spot for Liberatore. I think the Pittsburgh lineup is super beatable. I would like this a little bit more if this game was in Pittsburgh, but I think this has the potential of being a low-scoring game. So I'm out on the hitters here. Pittsburgh bats, I mean, Joey Bart has power upside against lefties. 3,600 if you want to take a catcher with some power upside. Liberatore's just done a really good job of limiting power this season. His pitch mix is really good. I think he's only allowed 1 or 2 home runs this year. So he has a really solid whip. I love whip. I know it's an old school stat, but I still like it. So Cardinals bats against Skeens. I mean, he's so good. When he's on, when he's off, I mean, yeah, you could target some home runs here with maybe like a Nootbaar, Donovan, Gorman, like target the home run hitters. But for the most part, I think this game has the potential to be one of, if not the lowest scoring games on the slate. So I don't have a ton of interest in this game. Did Severino pitch the 4th? He did. All right. Need Severino to get knocked out of this game. He's not going to do it DFS-wise, so let's just get him out of there. Let me hit my unders on him and be done. Detroit at Colorado. 9.5 total in this one. Detroit, a 170? Yeah, 170 favorite. Dollander against Joby. Jackson Joby, 6,800. We love pitchers against the Rockies this season. But Jackson Joby, his command is really bad. He really struggles with command. He can strike out lefties, and I think he'll eventually start striking out righties a little bit higher than where he's at right now. Once his command, but his command has been a huge downfall for him. He has at least 2 walks in all but 1 start this year. He has some strikeout ability. The Rockies love to strike out. He's 6,800. I've played worse pitchers against Colorado this season, for what it's worth. They just strike out at such a high clip. I'd probably, in my 20 entry max, leave this guy in my player pool at this price point. Just based on how bad this team is. They're just so bad. I will say that I hate playing pitchers and cores. It messes with people, but this guy is a huge prospect. I think I'm almost positive like he's a top 5 prospect in all of baseball. I know he's the number 1 prospect for the Tigers, but this guy's a huge prospect. He's very talented. Slider fastball combo for the most part. Changeup throws a little bit of sinker that'll get affected in cores a little bit. So I don't know. I think I play the young talented arm here against this bad offense and just kind of hope it works out. But he's a huge prospect. I'm pretty sure he's a top 5, or he was coming into the season. Right? Bangaliere's yard. Nice. I don't know where he ended up, but so last year Jackson Joby was he was 25th overall, top prospect for Detroit. I know they have Max Clark too, but he's really young. But this year, I feel like he's played enough where they've taken him off. I don't know. I love the prospect, but he's a huge prospect. I think he has some upside. Dollander on the other side of this game, he pitched really well against Atlanta last time out. It was like he was dealing with a finger, right? It was a bloody mess. Maybe that's what he needed. Like that was his best start of the year. I don't know. He's really struggled home runs this year. So I don't think I play him in cores. And he's really struggled with like left-handed power. I could see him beating some of the righties here. He's done a really good job generating ground balls to righties and stuff, but I don't think I play Dollander today. I think I prefer, if I was going to go down here, I'd play Joby on the other side of this game, for what it's worth. Like, and for what it's worth, too, just want to throw it out there. Dollander's a huge prospect too. I just think I think the matchup overall is a little bit better for the other prospect here. We got two young, talented pitchers facing off here, and I'm pretty sure Dollander. My eye is twitching. Sorry, I had blood work done today, and like ever since I had blood work done today, my eye has twitched a lot. My wife's like, "Do you take your vitamins? You drink a lot of water?" All right. Anyway, bats here. I feel like you guys probably already know. Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green. Love this spot for both of those guys. Torkelson's been awesome this year. He has a lot of upside. They priced him up a little bit, but Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, McKinstry, I think is always in play. I don't love playing three outfielders from the same team. So like if I was going to do a 3-man here, I'd probably play like a Colt Keith at 3,200 or a Sweeney who's really cheap. So Detroit lefties, that's where I would target. And then on the other side, the Rockies side, I mean, who do we play from the Rockies? I mean, Jordan Beck has been solid. Ryan McMahon, he can't hit a baseball. Taglia, he's striking out like 45% of the time this year. Mickey Moniak is always someone I like. One of the reasons I have some interest in Joby is because the Rockies lineup is really bad. It's so bad. I mean, if I was going to play the Rockies, I'd probably just stack and hope for the best. Goodman, Beck, Moniak, Doyle. Every time I look at this lineup and I am like doing research on the Rockies, I'm like, why would anybody play them? Even in cores. We're so used to like 10, 11 totals. We got a 9.5 total in this game. All right, moving on. Toronto at LA taking on the Angels. 9 total in this one. Pick'em game. Eric Lauer going up against Tyler Anderson. Eric Lauer, like out of nowhere, kind of started last time out, and it was supposed to be like an opener situation, and he threw like 77 pitches. So I think like we can expect like a full workload from him. I don't think it's like an opener situation after last time out. Always start with the visiting pitcher, so let's just jump right into Eric Lauer. I can't remember if he was out last year or if he pitched in the KBO. I'm going to pull that up really quick because I'm almost positive he didn't pitch in the bigs last year, right? He didn't pitch last year. So was he hurt or did he? So he was in the KBO last year. All right. Eric Lauer, man, he got hammered in 2023. Like his whip and home run per 9 was insanely high. His xFIP was really high in this first start. But anyway, all right, Eric Lauer going up against a team that I love left-handed pitching. I've talked about this all year. Mike Trout's out of the lineup now too. I just don't know if Eric Lauer is the guy that has the upside to beat this lineup. So I'm probably going to pass on him here. Talk about the bats in just a second, but I don't have any interest in him. And Tyler Anderson on the other side of this game, below average strikeout pitcher, gives up a lot of fly balls. This lineup is just full of right-handed hitters. They might not be the best right-handed hitters in the world, but they're full of right-handed hitters, which should give Tyler Anderson fits. He's had some big games this year. I'm probably going to pass on him. I think that the most likely outcome is him struggling a little bit. He has, for what it's worth, done a really good job of limiting power to right-handed hitters this year. His swinging strike rate is really high against righties. So, I mean, there might be a little bit of positive regression coming, but I don't think I could do it. They don't strike out a ton, and I feel like that's always a big thing here. All morning, I debated on betting Bryce Miller like unders because of how much I like the Athletics today. And I didn't, and I wish I would have. I was going to bet his under Ks. I was going to bet his under outs, and I didn't pull the trigger on any of that. And I'm struggling right now looking at his stats going, man, I was right. I should have did it. I should have listened to myself. You ever do that? Like, you're like, I should listen to myself. Sometimes you are smart. As far as trying to bats, I mean, I like Vlad a lot. He has absolutely crushed left-handed pitching this season. Springer is really good against lefties. Alejandro Kirk is always good against lefties. So, yeah, Vlad, Springer, Kirk, Bichette. I think all those guys are fine. I think I probably prefer a three-man stack for Toronto if I was going to play them, or one-offs. They're not a full stack for me today. Other side of this one, man, oh man, the Angels, they have so many lefties, and you're like, Eric Lauer is not going to go out there and throw the ball by anybody, and he struggles so much for home runs the last time we saw him pitch in the bigs. Like, I still have it up. In 2023, he had a 3.0 home run per 9 in 46 innings. He had a 5.3 Sierra in 43 innings. And like, he struck out more and he gave up less home runs in the KBO last year, but like his advanced stats, like, still not great. So all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to really quickly deep dive on Eric Lauer and see if he's changed anything since coming back from the KBO in that one start. We have one start to look at. So 2023, the last time he pitched in the majors, same velocity on his fastball. He did throw a cutter a lot in 2023, and he only threw a cutter 9% of the time. Slider, changeup. So maybe his changeup is better than it was because he used his changeup a lot more than he did. But it is, again, just one start. I don't know. I think that I think we target this guy. Nothing changed in the aspect for me in one start where I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy, he's changed a lot. He really hasn't. So I think I'm going to play some Angels today. I'm probably going to regret it. But Zach Neto, Soler, Ward, Ohape, Joe Adell, Paris, like, I don't believe in Lauer, and I mean, you look at his strikeouts or his home runs that he just really struggled with home runs the last time we saw him, and nothing's really changed. So the Angels are cheap, and I've targeted plenty of left-handed pitchers against this team this year, but I mean, Soler is 3,500. Ward is 3,300. The Angels are going to disappoint me again, I'm sure, but I'm going to go back to the well on the Angels today. Yeah, Derek says first instincts are always a thing for me, at least. Yeah, I mean, I should have. I really, when I was like digging in this morning, when I was doing some content, I was like, man, this is a terrible spot for Bryce Miller, and I should bet his unders. And I should have listened to myself. But I also liked the Mets in the Arizona game, and that game is just dudding. Mets at Diamondbacks, 9 total. The timing of that one. Pick'em game. David Peterson, Zach Gallen facing off against each other here. All right. Let's talk Peterson first. Kind of below average strikeout guy, but he does a really good job of limiting damage. And he has plenty of strikeout upside against lefties. And I feel like Carroll and Naylor probably stay in the lineup here today. I could see him having an okay start. I don't think he has a huge ceiling on any slate. He doesn't strike out hitters enough, I feel like, unless he gets a lot of lefties. So if for some reason Arizona leaves like 4 or 5 lefties in this lineup, my opinion on Peterson would definitely change. He's been elite against lefties since the beginning of last season, like 65% ground balls, with like 27% Ks and no walks against lefties. So like if they leave a lot of lefties in this lineup, my opinion would change fast on Peterson. I just don't think they're going to leave 5 lefties in this lineup, 4 lefties in this lineup. So you never know overall, but I think Carroll and Naylor play, but it's not like Grichuk has been good against righties this year, so who knows? But yeah, I mean, overall, check the lineup for Peterson. Good ground ball pitcher. I mean, massive ground ball pitcher. Doesn't give up home runs typically. So check the lineup for Peterson. Zach Gallen on the other side. He finally pitched well last time out, but the problem is he did it against this lineup. Hate pitchers facing offenses back to back. And this lineup doesn't typically strike out a lot. I know he had 8 strikeouts against them last start 5 days ago. I think this is a terrible spot for him. I mean, I just don't see him repeating what he did last time out. And if he does, I mean, good for him. Shame on me. Maybe he just likes pitching in New York because his 2 best games this year were both in New York, one against the Yankees and one against the Mets. But I can't do it. They don't strike out. They don't strike out. They don't strike out. It's as simple as that for me. They have a ton of power. Their lineup's very good. They're top 10 in WRC plus, and they don't strike out. Bats. It'd be a stack or fade spot for me on the Mets. They did strike out, did they? I haven't been watching. Where are we at today? If you heard that, I'm so sorry. Griffin Canning had 6 Ks. Oh, man. They did strike out against Gallen, too. Yeah, 8 Ks last time out. Yeah. I can't. That sneeze messed me up. I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, I think there's way better plays today than Zach Gallen against this Mets team. If I'm going to play the Mets bats, I'm going to stack them. Lindor, Soto, Alonso, Nimmo, Vientos, Alvarez is back. McNeil is back. Yeah. They need to get Sterling Marte out of the 4 hole for what it's worth. That's terrible. As far as the Arizona bats, I like Arizona most slates. I do. I play them a lot. I hate this spot for them. They don't strike out against lefties. They don't have a ton of power against lefties, but like David Peterson doesn't typically get blown up. And looking at this team since the start of last year, they don't have like a full fly ball hitter. If anybody, maybe Gurriel or Suarez, they're the closest thing to like fly ball hitters in this lineup. Suarez, plenty of power this year. He's 4,300. Gurriel, he has 5 home runs this year, but he has been hitting better, I guess, recently. But those would be the 2 that I would take shots on if I was going to play Arizona. Again, Peterson he doesn't typically give up home runs. He's given up 2 home runs on the year, and both of those were in his first start of the season against Miami. Seattle at the Athletics, 9.5 total here. The Athletics a 130 favorite. Emerson Hancock against Jeffrey Springs. In this one, Hancock, a below average strikeout pitcher, really struggles to both sides of the plate. Woba, 397, 396 to lefties, 398 to righties. I mean, Hate the ballpark, obviously, for pitching. Love the ballpark for hitting. We'll talk about the athletic bats in a minute, but I don't see any upside here with Hancock, even though he's 7K. He's had some decent starts, but he just doesn't strike out enough people. He doesn't generate enough whiffs for me. Swinging strike rate is really low. He's gotten very, he's just gotten very like pitch to contact, like type of like pitch mix, and really struggles with power. So talk about bats in just a minute. There's a spot I really like on the Athletics. Jeffrey Springs, Seattle. I talked yesterday about how good Seattle has been against right-handed pitching. One of the reasons that I ended up betting a lot of unders on Severino is because of how good Seattle has been against right-handed pitching this season. We didn't expect that. They are still struggling quite a bit with left-handed pitching. And with Rosarina banged up right now, we don't know if he'll be back. He's dealing with a hamstring injury. Dylan Moore on the IL, but he's not eligible until Wednesday. So he won't be back for this game. It might be a spot to take some shots on Springs at 7,600. Didn't we play Springs earlier this year against Seattle? Pretty sure we did. Can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure we did. I watch the lineup when this lineup comes out, and it's going to be late. It's going to be really close to lock. But if a Rosarina is out of this lineup, Jeffrey Springs could have a really solid day here. One, they're not going to be able to get the lefties out of the lineup, like all of them, because of the injuries to like Moore and if a Rosarina is out. So we're going to potentially not get both of the right-handed batters. He put up 33. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we played Jeffrey Springs against Seattle earlier this year. Watch the lineup. If a Rosarina's out, I have interest. I have some interest here in Springs. Because like even like looking at it, right? Like looking at this from the perspective of the batters here. They don't have a large sample size against lefties this year, but even if we look back to last year, Cal Riley has power against lefties. Rodriguez's power goes down. For some reason, JP Crawford's been really solid against lefties, and Springs struggles a little bit with lefties, walk-wise, but like he doesn't give up a lot of power to lefties. So 26% hard hits to lefties this year, for what it's worth for Springs, but I don't know. I just don't see, with Dylan Moore out of this lineup and a Rosarina out of this lineup, I don't really see it. I don't see a lot of upside with this lineup. That's why I kind of have some interest in Springs. I could see him pitching well. Hate the ballpark. Like even Ryan Bliss, who's been solid against lefties this year, he's on the IL. Garver's 3K. Throughout his career, he's been good against lefties. He's getting towards the end of his career, too. So maybe Garver. Last year, he was really good against lefties. This year, he's been awful against lefties. Like, he's striking 30% of the time. I don't know. I have interest in Springs. I'm not really liking a lot for Seattle. That's where I'm struggling. The Athletic bats, I do like the Athletics today. It is the night before, but they're one of my favorite stacks on the slate today. I like this spot a lot for them. I think this is a spot we could see a really strong game. I was like, Seattle's bullpen's okay. They're like 12th, 13th in a lot of statistics. So, but if we get to the bullpen early, it looks like, okay, so they just got to the bullpen in the 5th inning. They pulled out Bryce Miller in the 5th. So the bullpen might get a little work here. So I don't know. I like the Athletics a lot. I really, 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 really like Brent Rooker in this spot. Hancock's profile is incredible for Rooker in this spot. So I really like him. He's one of my top home run calls of the day. So I like him a lot. Butler, Soderstrom, Langoliers. Yeah, I like the Athletics. Like I said, night before, first look, they're one of my favorite stacks. This ballpark just keeps producing. It just keeps producing. How many reallys was that asking for, Finn? Hey, I really want everyone to go over to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, tell your friends, tweet it out, put it on Instagram, help the show grow, make this live chat great. Hour and 15-minute show, and we haven't played the morning grind game. So Francisco Lindor just hit a three-run home run. So maybe the Mets and the Diamondbacks want to score some runs late today. So Derek says, let's go. There you go. Hopefully Derek's getting a little sweat. All right. Morning grind game under 8K to get 6 or more strikeouts. I think there's a lot of pitchers that have the ability to get 6 or more strikeouts down here today. And I don't say that every day. Sitting top 20. All right. Let's get that. Let's get some more Mets. I am going to go. I'm going to go to the young guy here, and I'm going to say Jackson Joby at 6,800 on DK. Gets his first 6 strikeout game of his career. I don't think he didn't start last year, right? So let's get the job done. Over 8K to score under 15. Like quite a few pitchers up here. I think this range is really strong overall. One guy that I could easily see this guy get there, but I think his upside and ceiling is still kind of capped. So I don't think I play a lot of him today. So I'm hoping he doesn't get there. So it's going to be Pablo Lopez. And I know he has at least 19 DK points in 4 straight starts. I get that. But some of those matchups were really good. White Sox, Angels, Guardians. Like, talked a lot about right-handed pitching against the Guardians this year too. So over 4K to hit a home run. I already said it. I mean, I like this spot a lot today for Brett Roker. Brent is my boy, and he's gonna Rooker it up. That's what he's gonna do today. He's gonna Rooker it up. Under 4K to get 10 plus. We went to, I think we had Verdugo yesterday. I'm looking because I forgot to write it down again. Let's go a little off the board here. Let's go Soler, who's been awful against righties or lefties this year. He's just, in his career, he's been too good against lefties to continue to struggle this much. And I really like the matchup against Eric Lauer and his home run upside. So give me Soler. Stack to score 6 or more runs. Oh, there's a couple of them that I really like today. I'm going to go Athletics. Oh, Juan Soto double. All right, now we're getting rolling. Mets, now we're getting rolling. This podcast needs a pen sponsorship. I mean, if this company right here, Precise Varsity Pilot Pens, if they want to sponsor me, I use their product a lot. I have a lot of their product, and I use their product a lot. For the longest time, I used these roller glides, and you can't find them anymore. But yeah, I mean, the Precise Varsity. If anybody works for Pilot Pen Company, tell their company or their boss they need to sponsor this show. I will be very cheap as long as you send me product. Let's pull up Prize Picks and see if we can make a little Prize Picks lineup. Is Severino still in the game? Let's check. I didn't check. I hope not. I need his unders, so he is still in the game. So let's get him out of the game here. That'd be great. All right, let's look. I know the show's been going forever. Let me see if there's anything up for tomorrow that I like. I found something. I'm just trying to see if I can find 1 or 2 to go with it here. They have a couple things up for Prize Picks to make a little Prize Picks lineup. All right. I think I made one that I. Oh, this can't be a real thing, right? Maybe. All right. Sorry. I'm trying to find one more play that I really like here. I have two in my plays already. I'm trying to find one more that I like. I really like pitcher outs and pitcher strikeouts, and there's not a lot of those to choose from yet. So um might just roll with this 2-pick play here. Call it a day. All right. I found a third one. Let's do this. Morning grind style, 3-pick lineup and play over there on Prize Picks. We're going Brent Roker, more than 6.5 fantasy score. Suzuki, more than 6.5 fantasy score. And my boy Matthew Liberatore, more than 5 strikeouts is where I'm going on the morning grind Prize Picks lineup for Tuesday. First thoughts, Wheeler or King? Oh, I mean, check the weather in New York first, obviously. Second, I think I prefer Zach Wheeler to King strikeout wise. So I think I prefer Zach Wheeler. Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance like my highest owned pitcher is going to be Chris Sale on DraftKings anyway because of his price. But Wheeler's going to be up there. Wheeler's going to be one of my favorite pitchers. But I don't think I'm going to get off of Zach Wheeler's today throughout the day, unless like there's potential weather in that game too. But yeah, I mean, I think I prefer Wheeler to King. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, we got the morning grind lineup over there on Prize Picks. Hope everyone has a fantastic Tuesday. Long podcast today, big slate, lot to talk about. Appreciate everyone supporting the show. Back tomorrow, talking some baseball. Good luck, everyone. See you then.